Hey everyone, welcome back to POPI 101, your compliance channel of choice, we hope. So, last time we spoke about what personal information is, and we used the example of personal information in the workplace. What does processing mean? Today we are going to talk about the processing of personal information within POPI. No, not processing foods, not processing veggies, not canning something, definitely not preserving something. We'll get there. Judith is going to explain that in detail to us in a bit, but it basically means everything you do with the information and handling that information. It involves three things: technology, processes, and people. So any action you or I take, regardless of whether it is automated or not, within South Africa is subject to POPI restrictions. Now, automation can mean anything really. In this instance, the form of either backing up a person's information, backing up a certain computer, or even automating processes where data is moved from one place to another. So another example would be if a security guard asks you for your information before you enter a corporate park or a residential area. Do you ever question them and ask, why do you need this information? Do you ever wonder where it goes, where it's stored? You should. The type of things they would ask for, such as your ID, your vehicle license registration number, your vehicle driver's license, name, surname, cell phone, who you're there to meet and why, and then they scan you or scan your driver's license as well. In fact, this is something that the information regulator will be paying close attention to in the coming months. Believe me, watch this space. Let's head on to Judith to tell us about the legal stuff.
Hi everybody. So today we're going to talk about processing information in terms of the POPI Act. POPI applies to personal information that is subject to processing or further processing. What does that mean exactly? So in terms of the definition of the POPI Act, processing includes a whole range of activities all through the life cycle of handling that personal information. So from the time that you first collect or receive or record information, personal information, the way that you organize it, how or where you store it, updating or changing it, the way that you retrieve it or consult it or use it, all of that is included in the definition of processing. Also, any type of dissemination or transmission or distribution of that information. And then, of course, any other actions like merging or linking, if you erase or archive, or if you destruct the information at the end of the day. All of that is also part of processing. Now, why is it important to understand processing? Processing is only lawful in terms of the POPI Act if it complies with 8 very specific conditions that's been specified in POPI or restrictions. Remember the example I gave you last time about what an employer may and may not do with an employee's information? Now, all of what I've explained there comes from these principles. So it's important to understand each one very carefully. But we'll deal with them in future. I just want you to know at this stage what they are. It's firstly accountability, process limitation, purpose specification, further processing limitation, information quality, openness and transparency. Security safeguards is of course very important because that is technological as well as physical safeguards. And the whole compliance issue and warrant side of it comes into it as well. And then data subject participation. Now, as I've said, I'll explain each of these as we go along, but that's for another time. I just want to give you a practical example. So we've seen that the definition of personal information includes any data or information that can be used to identify a person, from physical descriptors, contact details, to personal history, opinion, and preferences. Now, we all use emails and we have a lot of email addresses in our address box. And that, of course, under the definition will be personal information. So for example, if you decide to send out an email to a group of people, like you're sending a birthday invitation to the parents of your child's schoolmates, or you're sending out an email to your sports club members, that is, as we've seen, processing of their personal information. So now how do you keep those email addresses confidential? Do you put the addresses in the blind copy box, the BCC block, or as undisclosed recipients? Or are you just simply going to put them all in the to block or the copy block for everyone on the list to see everyone else's email addresses? That would be under POPI, not processing in terms of the restrictions and the conditions, because you are basically publishing people's email addresses which they gave to you for a specific reason, and they did not consent to anyone else seeing the email address. So it's certainly something to think about. POPI is going to become part of everything that we do every day, but we're here to help you. So keep watching our POPI Bites. We'll give you more information and interesting tips as we go along. Back to you, Warren.
Thank you, Judith. Now let's talk about technology a little bit over here. As previously mentioned, backing up, restoring, archiving, copying and pasting, automating any form of work process flow is a form of processing information if it contains any personal information of you, of one of your employees, an employer or guest visitor. Now, where does all this information go? Does it get stored on a database? Does it get stored in the cloud? Does it get stored on a hard drive or a computer? You never know, and you never know how exactly those people are handling your data, and you never know exactly what someone is doing with your data. For instance, Facebook, Google, all of these social media platforms or platforms of any kind, when they ask for your information and you accept the terms and conditions, that is them processing your information. Now, there are plenty of automation technologies that can actually help with compliance, built-in compliance technology, software, or processes. But yeah, hopefully this was another informative session, and we look forward to hearing from you if you have any feedback. If you would like to get a hold of any of the content that we are using in these videos, please contact us, give us a call or an email. Our details are down in the description. Remember to like us, subscribe here, check out our other demo overview channel over here, and give us a shout if you just want to chat about anything, or if you have any questions, or if there's anything we can actually do to assist you. Catch you guys soon.